Poppin' GMGP. It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself, and y'all know who it is. My brother from another mother, Jordan Richards, the Canadian. You can find him at your boy Jay Rich on X. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday. Jay, are we ready to say that? Every Monday.
It's not my call, people. I am not the one changing the schedule. I am not the one changing up the days. So look right here at the screen, Mr. GQ. When are we going live next week?
Every Monday, every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the people in the building. We've got a good show on tap for you today. We got a lot to talk about. Jay Rich, we've got Caleb Downs, knee issues, drama. We got to talk through that. Lance Zierlein Mock 2.0, 2.1. I was going to do reads, but I'm going to do that later on the other channel. Then we got to go through all the news. Your boy Kyler Murray, gone. Out. They're getting rid of Kyler, getting rid of James Conner, gone. Getting rid of your boy Stefon Diggs, gone. Jay Rich, all kinds of movement across the NFL space as we approach free agency. We got to talk about the colossal failure in Indianapolis and the things that are going on with the new ultimate bag chaser, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones getting paid, baby, getting paid, and he is going to recover slow off that Achilles tendon tear. But we got the people in the building, and Jay, you informed me at the start of the show. Somebody said they don't know what GMGP is. You got to know what GMGP is. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. We got HK Survivor in the building. I see Cold World TDE in here, Storm in the building, Dan in the building, Cozy Jackson, Sacramento Kingpin, Luke, what's happening with you? And you know, Jay Rich, the show doesn't start till who's in the building. Show doesn't start till Jorge from Rhode Island. We got and Ray GOGQ gets the comment boxes fixed. Jay, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling clearer and thinking clearer than I've ever felt. I did a 60-hour fast from Sunday night all the way till Wednesday. Yeah, it was would not recommend anyone who tells
60-hour fast. Talk about it.
60, it was pretty brutal. It was not fun. First day was okay. Okay. You know, obviously I ate the day before. Second day was rough. Like I went to the gym in the morning on Tuesday and that was terrible. But then by Wednesday, I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to break the fast today. Feeling pretty good. But yeah, man, it's tough. It's all mental, though. It's crazy how to do something like that. The first day is hard because your body just wants the food. But then once you kind of get over that, it's all completely mental. And you just kind of got to keep going. Just keep going. But make sure you drink your electrolytes, have your nutrients, all that kind of
100%,
stuff.
100%, Jay.
Because I did it with mostly just water. And that's not how you're supposed to do it, but I was kind of fine and made it through. But yeah,
you know, a lot of times people just eat out of boredom, you're not eating out of hunger. I don't have anything else to do, so I'm going to eat. I actually, you know, we kind of talk about other stuff. For those of y'all tapping in, we give life advice. There might be some bathing recommendations. We do a little pre-show banter before we get into it, but I bought a pocket journal, Jay, to start writing more and stop looking at my damn phone all day. So I'll start just kind of writing thoughts and notes throughout the day that should be here today. So just trying some different things to exercise the brain, right? Health, mind, body, fitness, all that other good stuff, especially dealing with you multiple times per week. I've got to do something. I've got to be able to get those thoughts out in a constructive way somehow, right? Because I don't want to, the people don't want me to be mean on the show, even though that's you've been ripping me of late. But we've got a lot to talk about. And let's start off. How many damn GM tools are we going to get, man? You saw the NFL put one of those GM simulators out.
I mean, they're putting everyone to shame with their own GM tools.
It's pretty good. It's the NFL, so I'd expect nothing less. But the hot topic item right now across all the sports, obviously the NFL draft. And one of the top draft prospects in the class, Jay Rich, there was some, can we call it drama, some uncertainty, some reports, rumors flowing from the combine about one Caleb Downs, Jay Rich. Caleb Downs, one of the best players in the draft class, top safety on the board, just about everybody, correct? If I'm not wrong. But there was a report originating from DAF on Draft claiming Downs was flagged at the combine for a partially torn meniscus and potentially degenerative ACL. All right. So then this got picked up by all kind of outlets. Downs family's not happy. There's nothing that would stop NFL teams from drafting Caleb Downs, brother of Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Josh Downs. So this report circulated. McAfee picked it up. No one's come out to say it ain't true. No one's come out to say, no, that is not what it is. But do you think this will have any impact and bearing on his draft position? And I will just say this, and don't you dare clip it, because I ain't reporting a damn thing. I did talk to somebody who was also at the combine, and you know what he told me? You know what? You know, my source told me.
Okay.
Hey, Ray, I also heard that there were some issues medically with Caleb Downs. This individual didn't put it out there. I'm not writing it. I'm not putting it behind a paywall. I'm just saying I heard from somebody else that they too heard of some knee stuff with Caleb Downs. What are your thoughts about all of this right now? Is it going to impact his draft slot? Would you have any hesitation pulling the trigger on a player who may not be 100%?
That's kind of the biggest question, right? You know, you and I went back and forth just on Caleb Downs' draft stock alone because he's a safety, and safeties historically fall down the draft board. Both Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles are outliers to some extent, not just because of how freakishly athletic they are, but also if they were to be drafted as high as they're projected to be drafted because they're not premium positions. Now, in the case of Downs, this is kind of the biggest question mark is, one, how real is this news? Because the other thing that you hear talked about is, well, these are players who just went through an entire college football season, so they're going to have injuries. It's just whether or not those are reported. And it always makes me wonder, Ray, well, how real is this news, and which GM ultimately leaked this report to somebody? Yeah. Because if you're Cincinnati, let's say, and the chance of you landing Caleb Downs right now are a little bit slimmer because he keeps going up in terms of his stock, maybe a little degenerative knee issue could land you the star safety at number 10. Miami could use him. Dallas could use him. And so that's where it's hard, because while there's a ton of great players in this draft, once you kind of get, I'd say, around Washington at 7, everyone after that could use Caleb Downs. Yeah. And it's just whether or not they're going to take the pick, take the swing on him, and how real is this report. I'd say I buy it a little bit, only because the talent at the top is so great. If you think there's even a small chance there's an issue, maybe you pass on him for another player at a premium position at that. So kind of a double positive versus the negative of the safety position plus Downs as a potential issue. But I think it's probably just a leaked report and not that big of a deal in terms of his draft stock.
Well, it doesn't stop there with Ohio State drama. And I'll just say I agree with you. If he does or doesn't, maybe. If I
hope
told
he addresses it on his pod, because he does the pod with Josh.
Yeah, we'll be watching for that. If I told you right now you were going to get 5, 6 elite-ish type seasons from Caleb Downs, and then his career was going to start to go down a little bit, would you? I don't think anybody would bat an eye at that. You'd be like, sign me up. You know,
well, I'm thinking almost of like Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu didn't have a very long peak in the NFL, but it was a very good peak, right? Much like it was in college when he was the Honey Badger, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of what you're looking at. And, you know, he retired a little bit earlier than you hope, but even still, if the peak is that high, you'll take that all day, every day.
Absolutely, Jay. Well, like I said, the drama is not stopping out of Ohio State with just Caleb Downs. And I didn't realize this was a big thing until I saw Chad Johnson tweet about it yesterday. But apparently there is a significant concern, worry, if that's what you want to call it, about Carnell Tate, Jay, and his 40-yard dash time. Have you seen
is there still uproar about his 40 time?
Apparently. And I didn't buy it. I didn't believe it. And then Chad Johnson comes out. 4.52 isn't slow. I'm seeing Carnell Tate on multiple combine loser lists because he ran a 4.5 40-yard dash when two of the best receivers in the NFL this past season, that's what they ran. Puka Nacua, CeeDee Lamb, they're 4. Here's my take. I can almost guarantee you nobody, nobody watching the game, you could tell the difference between a 4.46 and a 4.50. 4.52 and a 4.48. You cannot tell the difference. You can tell the difference between a 4.3 and a 4.5 guy. There's more juice. There's more explosiveness. But you cannot tell. And on the field, there is no differentiator. Like, there's nothing that differentiates those two speeds on the field when you're moving in and out of breaks, when you're making cuts, when you're exploding to the ball out of a route. This just feels like, more so than anything, that manufactured bullshit around this time during the draft process. I've got zero, and I mean zero, concern about Carnell Tate's long speed at the next level.
Yeah, I think it's just, and I think I kind of said this even after the combine, it's just one of those boxes that you hoped he would check running in the 4.4s, but he didn't get there.
Why though? I'm just asking this. When we know there is zero correlation, but it's the most overrated, overhyped event that the combine can produce. You rarely run 40 yards dead on from a 3-point stance on a football field ever. There aren't very many times throughout the game where you're just sprinting 40 yards unimpeded. It's just not football. And you see more people that talk about speed and speed analytics saying that more teams should focus on how quickly a player can get to max velocity. What's the miles per hour? How quick does he decelerate? But just a straight line, linear 40-yard dash, it's all hype. It's all show. There's nothing there, Jay, with that, especially at that position.
Well, I think the only pushback I would have to you on that point, and I hear you, and I think you're right about the real-life football side of it, but the fake football side of it is we know to some extent it does impact draft capital, whether we like it or not, right? If you run a fast time, that can vault you up some teams' boards, and we know that if you get drafted higher, that can ultimately be there. But I think for me, right, it's one of those things where Tate was the wide receiver 1 coming in, and I don't think he did enough to say he separated himself or he made that gap wider, or I don't think he did enough to where he is still for sure that guy, right?
So
Lemon didn't run. That's not a positive.
If he ran a 4.48, he would have done enough for you.
Yeah. I because for me, these are boxes that just get checked to say, okay, he's got that in him. Because, Ray, ultimately, you know that running fast in this event is a discipline, right? It's further showing his discipline and commitment to football. We know that he can run fast enough to get there, in my opinion. So why wasn't he able to run at that speed?
I was as disciplined as I could be when I played in college, man, and I couldn't run a 4.4.
And you're not Carnell Tate, right? And you're not going top 10 in the NFL draft.
And Carnell Tate may not have the speed of a Calvin Austin. He may not have the speed of a Jamar Chase. So to insinuate that he is not prepared to a certain level because he didn't go 0.05 of a second faster. To me, I understand the on-field stuff, but it clearly matters. We've seen history throughout plenty of years. The 40 time doesn't matter. And I told you, one of my biggest surprises of the combine was Cooper running a 4.42 because I didn't think he was that fast, right? Do I think that Cooper is that much faster than Tate? No, but it clearly showed that way at the combine. Why? I don't know. But I think it does matter. I think it's one of those things that GMs just want to see you check that box if they're going to take you in the top 10. Jason wants to know if you moved off Tyson as your top guy. No. Jay Rich is still at his wide receiver one.
I will never move off of Tyson because I'm not going to give up on that talent. And it makes me laugh, honestly, because I hear people on the injuries, but you're not denying the talent. You're just saying, well, he gets injured a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're going to buy into the talent and admit, like, if everything goes right, he could be that guy. But yes, there is, of course, some downside with Tyson.
All right. Well, with that being said, there was a new mock draft that dropped yesterday, and then there were some edits to that mock because of some things that happened across the NFL. So let's just take a look at what Lance Zierlein has going on, Jay. Let's take a look at the NFL people, man. They're doing good stuff over there, from that GM tool to all the other shit from the combine. Let's see what Zierlein's yapping about today. Jay, this is his mock 2.1. No surprise here. We still got Mendoza at 1, and then there you go, David Bailey at 2. Jay, how we feeling about David Bailey at 2?
I like it. You know, I'm a big fan of Bailey. Less raw of a prospect than Reese. Edge rusher seems like it's going to happen for the Jets. I believe Arvell Reese right now on DraftKings is minus 175 to go number 2, and David Bailey's right behind him at plus 170. So it's going to be probably one of those two guys unless something changes. I'm fine with the Jets taking Bailey here.
All right, at 3, a lot of conversation about what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do, and we shall talk about them here shortly. But Zierlein has Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Ohio State, going to Arizona. And then at pick 4, Mansour Delane. I've not looked at this mock either, so I'm seeing this live for the first time with you. Mansour Delane at 4, and then Jermon McCoy at 5.
I don't hate the McCoy pick.
I think this is... I would not be taking Mansour Delane at 4. You got a 5'11", 190-something pound corner that didn't test. He's not the greatest athlete. I don't know if I'd be taking him at 4. And then the Giants taking Jermon McCoy at 5.
So I think I hear you on.
No, thank you.
It feels too high, but I do remember when Stingley went number 3 overall or 4 overall, and that was a bit of a surprise as well, right?
Not really.
Delane to the Titans is interesting. I think McCoy, or at least the Giants taking a corner, makes somewhat sense because they're probably going to lose Flott to free agency.
Probably.
But yeah, when you talk about the Titans, like, what is this, your L'Jarius Sneed replacement when he can't play anymore? Like, I don't really get it. It makes not a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this. Cleveland at 6. A lot of smoke around Cleveland going offensive tackle with this 6th pick. I think Jordan Reed had Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle out of Georgia, going 6 to Cleveland in his mock. And right here, Zierlein has Francis Mauigoa out of Miami going to protect Shedeur Sanders for Todd Monken and co. here in 2026. At pick 7, the Commanders go Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain, I think that's a great fit with Dan Quinn, like the pick right there. And then Jeremiah Love goes to your beloved New Orleans Saints here, your second team. You got your AFC squad in New England, and you got your NFC squad right here in New Orleans, getting your boy Tyler Shuck some help out of the backfield. What a replacement for the great Alvin Kamara down there in New Orleans. At 9, we've got a trade, Jay Rich.
Wow. Okay.
We have a trade. The Jets are back on the clock at 9. Kansas City said we're going to accumulate some more capital. What did they end up giving up right here? Did he say what they gave up? He didn't say what they gave up, but there was a trade. Of course, there was a trade with Kansas City, and the Jets take Caleb Downs and his bad knee at 9. How are we feeling about this?
I think we know how bad the Jets are. It's a great piece to add to the defense with Bailey, obviously, right? Like those 2 pieces, plug and play, ready to go. But will they make the Jets defense great? They probably need a bit more, but it's definitely a good start.
All right, good start for the Jets. They're going all in with that Aaron Glenn. At 10, Sonny Styles goes to the Bengals. It breaks my Dallas Cowboys heart, but he ain't falling to 12. There's not a chance in hell he's going to get to 12. Here at pick 11, Miami, Jay Rich.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Ooh. Whoa.
How much worse can it get than Carnell Tate to the Dolphins at 11?
I like
pick
it.
for the Dolphins.
I like it.
No,
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
You looking for Tate?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Who's the OC in Miami again? Is it Bobby Slowick?
Hey, Bobby Slowick. We'll be all right.
Think you can turn Carnell Tate into Nico Collins?
Where's the opportunity there? It's Jalen Waddle. It's Carnell Tate. They have 2 different type of skill sets. Waddle can occupy that short area yak role in which he does. That's not what Carnell Tate does best. Stretch the field vertically. I don't know. None of us know what the offense will look like. It's new. Who's going to be the quarterback? Have to assume it's going to be somebody new, but I like this. I did some, Ray I over here is building models in the wee hours of the morning, Jay. And I did some correlation finding and mapping for NFL draft prospects, rookie wide receivers landing in good offensive environments, average offensive environments, and poor offensive environments. And the correlation is almost negative. You find rookie wide receivers that get dropped into some quote unquote poor offensive environments outproduce rookies that are placed into good offensive environments. And I think there are a couple of different reasons why that can be the case. Opportunity, sheer volume. But I wouldn't be scared off by this at all. I'd look at Jalen Waddle and say, hey, this is an opportunity for him to learn from a veteran who's been a Pro Bowl caliber player in the NFL, and he can utilize his skill set. So I wouldn't mind it at all. I mean, of course, there's some other areas in which we can point out that would be better fits that we think, but I'd be fine with Carnell Tate. Let's see what my boys do at 12. Dallas at... Come on, man.
Shame.
I don't know why.
Falk at 12 is
shame.
Crazy. Auburn edge, Keldrick Falk. Your favorite edge in the class. To your Cowboys at 12.
Here's the thing. Every time we do the draft stream, am I not right on who we're going to pick? Remember when I was like, don't take Tyler Guyton. Don't take Tyler Guyton. What did I do? Tyler Guyton. The moment I heard Leighton Vander Esch had neck issues, I was like, that's our guy. He's got a broken neck. That is not only is that our guy, we're going to take him round 1, damn it. I don't like it, Jay, but here's the thing. With the new defensive coordinator, there are rumors that this is going to be a 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
You need big defensive ends, right? Because that's not the hand in the ground DN in a 3-4 ain't your That's not the guy dedicated to going to get a whole bunch of sacks. That's DeMarcus Ware as that 3-4 outside linebacker off the edge. 6'5", 280 pounds, 34-inch arms. I could see him being a defensive fit for Dallas.
He's huge, right? He came in bigger than expected, right? Yes. And especially with an edge class that came in with short arms, he's got 34 and 38-inch arms. So
absolutely flaccid.
Very raw athlete and minimal bend is what it seemed like. From
minimal bend. Let's go 13, Jay Rich. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Makai Lemon to the Rams.
Looks good. As long as Stafford's there, it's good.
I believe it, especially based off of some of the things that they've already done, which we'll talk about later. I think they're going offense here with this pick. And this would be a great fit.
Especially if the top two corners are off the board.
This would be a great,
right? They're not taking Hood at 13.
Well, they already have a top corner now, too. They've got one now, so we'll talk through it. Baltimore at 14 goes Vega Ione. I've continued to say it. They're losing Linderbaum. Daniel Falele, not good. Ronnie Stanley, we'll see what happens with him down the line. They've got to protect Lamar Jackson. I think that's going to be
seems like a really good pick.
I think it'd be a fine fit. Akeem Mesidor, your boy, goes to Tampa Bay at 15 to help that defense out. Kansas City, here's their trade back with the Jets, and they land Monroe Freeling. We know that Juwan Taylor is out of the building. You got to protect Patty Mahomes. I'm a big Freeling fan. 6'7", 315-pound athlete. Develop him, grow him. I like the fit. I love the fit. And they probably got an additional first-round pick from the Jets out of this deal.
I'd say second probably. But
second?
Hard to say. Going from 9 to 16, maybe a couple later picks, but we'll see. Lions
go Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor, offensive lineman out of Alabama to shore up that offensive front. At 18, the Vikings go Dylan Thieneman. There it is. Safety out of Oregon. Yes, I love me some Thieneman. Zion Young goes to the Carolina Panthers at 19. Wow, okay. Let's see what Dallas does at 20. I have not looked at anything.
It's got to still be defense.
Avion Terrell.
Available.
Oh, they traded. Dallas. Damn it.
We could use Emmanuel McNeil.
We could have used him.
Bears got
Emmanuel McNeil Warren. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
They need him.
They need him. With Kevin Byard as a free agent, I believe both of their safeties.
I think Brisker also is a pending free agent as well.
I think they're both free agents. I like this. So you got 3 safeties inside the top 20 in the Zierlein mock. Jordan Tyson, your boy, goes to Pittsburgh to play for the Mike McCarthy, DK Metcalf-led Steelers. How you feeling about your boy JT in Pittsburgh?
I hate it so much. I'm pretty sure Reed did this too.
Did he do it too?
And it just made me sick.
Oh, man.
Tyson to the Steelers is disgusting.
Like, they need another receiver.
It's terrible.
They need another receiver. He'd be their number 2 guy immediately.
Draft
They're releasing
Tate. Take
Tate's gone.
Don't
Tate's gone
take
10
my
picks
boy.
ago.
Take Casey Concepcion. Take Denzel Boston. Take Omar Cooper. Take anybody but my guy, Jordan Tyson, man. Because I just don't think there's any opportunity here. We don't know who's playing quarterback. Aaron Rodgers says he's non-committed to the Steelers right now.
Rodgers is playing quarterback. He's doing this thing, but Rodgers is going to be the quarterback.
We'll see. How do you feel about the fit for Tyson in Pittsburgh?
I like it. He'd be the number 2 option behind DK Metcalf. They're releasing Jonnu Smith. There's no third option. There's really no secondary option. And who's to say in a year DK Metcalf gets JS'd again? And I'm not saying he's JSN, but you know what I'm talking about. He gets
a better receiver plays behind him, and then
and then a year later he bumps him out.
DK could be gone after this year too.
That's what I mean. I like it for Jordan Tyson. I like it for Jordan Tyson. 22, the Chargers go Caleb Banks. They go big D tackle.
That's a great pick.
Caleb Banks goes to L.A., even though I do believe they are losing Mekhi Becton as well. So Bozeman gone, Becton gone, Slater knee injury, and then Joe Alt coming back from his knee injury. Philly at 23 goes Kenyon Sadiq, the all-world combine performer, tight end, fastest tight end in NFL history. Jay Rich, 4.3, faster than Vernon Davis. Did he beat Vernon Davis?
Yeah, he's the only guy to run in the 4.3, or only tight end to run in the 4.3s.
4.3s. There it is. 23 that goes to Philadelphia. At 24, Omar Cooper, your boy. So the Browns took Francis Malnoe at 6. They get Shedeur Sanders. Omar Cooper here at 24, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, there could be better fits for Cooper, especially in the 20s, but there's definitely going to be opportunity there. Don't expect Judy to be there much longer. It's just who's playing quarterback. Is it your boy
Shador
or is it Watson? Well, hey, you see Watson working out? You see him potentially going to earn that starting job. You never know. Maybe Watson will be back.
Been a lot of positive reports about old Shador and the cards he was dealt last year. The cards that he was dealt last year. I'm telling you what the players are saying, Jay. I ain't saying.
Do you think that Cooper is wide receiver 4 now?
Not for me. No.
Okay.
Let's see if any other receivers go in this mock too. Let's see if any other receivers. Dallas, Colton Hood. I hate Dallas's draft. Absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. I hate it. Hate it. Colton Hood and Keldrick Falk. No, thank you. I'd be pissed. I'll be pissed on draft night. Just letting you know that. Cornerback out of Tennessee, Colton Hood. Denzel Boston goes to Buffalo at 26.
Not a bad pick. It's better than some of the ones we've seen for Buffalo. They need a wide receiver. Boston is a fine pick, especially if Cooper's already gone. You could maybe argue Concepcion if you want to, but they do need an outside threat. It just needs to be a guy that can actually play outside and win. I think Boston can do that.
Spencer Furneaux goes to the 49ers at 27, and we saw multiple reports to say that he had by far the best workout at the combine from the offensive line position. So for San Francisco to get their potential left tackle of the future, groom in behind Trent Williams, I think this would be a home run pick for the 49ers. At 28, his teammate comes off the board, Caleb Lomu, offensive lineup for the Houston Texans. No surprise there. Jay, at 29, Kansas City Chiefs with another first-round pick. Right? They got their second first-round pick in a trade that we'll discuss. They get Avion Terrell out of this just feels like a good pick.
That is such man.
Feels like a rock solid draft. Feels like a rock solid draft.
Kids are just flying up the draft board.
I mean, you tell me.
I don't know what happened in Clemson this year, but man, Avion Terrell, Peter Woods.
Dabo cried too much. Too much damn crying from Dabo Swinney this season. Crying and complaining.
Great fit. They just got another cornerback to go draft another one. It was Snead. It was McDuffie.
It'll be him. Terrell. And it'll be him in 4 years. But they'll get 4 great years out of him with Spags. At 30, Denver gets Anthony Hill Jr. And I just want to continue to say, I love it. This is a player mock top 10. Amongst all of the Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese hype, people failed to mention that this 6'2", 240-pounder went out there, had damn near 40-inch vertical, 4.5, low 4.5s in the 40-yard dash, athleticism out the wazoo. Things didn't go as planned, according to plan with Texas this fall. But Denver getting Anthony Hill, I know a lot of Broncos fans, another defensive guy, we want some offense. I like Anthony Hill Jr. a lot. Would love Dallas to be able to target him in round 2, but in this mock, not there.
Already gone.
Jay Rich, your Patriots. Whoa.
Ooh, okay.
Here we go. Are we in business? Jay Rich. KC Concepcion, wide receiver out of A&M. Your New England Patriots here at 31.
If we get KC Concepcion, I will be pretty happy. I'd be pretty happy there because Reed did not do me as well as Mr. Zierlein did. So I will take it. I'm more than happy there. I don't know if he's going to be available though, right? I really don't. Like, it seems like he could be gone by 31, and we do need edge. We could look at O-line, and there's obviously a lot of O-line already off the board. But if we did get Concepcion at 31, that would be a very, very good pick there.
Prospect profile, KC Concepcion, up now on the channel. Check that out. Like the video. Jay Rich did a great job with that one. And then the world champion Seattle Seahawks, they traded. They got out. Ooh. Houston's back up, and they took D-tackle Caden McDonald out of Ohio State. So that was Zierlein's 2.0 mock draft. Anything stand out to you post-combine that we saw in this mock? Any glaring omissions? I guess for me,
I mean, Fano dropping all the way to bottom first is kind of crazy. Because if Vega Ione is going to be drafted 14, then you could probably draft Fano just after him. Because he's already said he's willing to move and play guard if he has to.
I think for me, it was the 2 corners, 4 and 5. I don't believe that Manzo Delane nor Jamon McCoy coming off of the injury should be picked that high. But there it is. All right, we appreciate everybody being in the building. We got NFL news to talk through when we get back from the break. If you're here, we have a good time every time. We only ask you to do one thing, hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, get that algorithm going right, Jay Rich. Subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, subscribe to the podcast feed. That way for a lot of y'all who continue to say, hey, can't catch it live, you can get it after the fact, whether you want to listen to it or watch it on YouTube. Much love. We appreciate you, and we'll be right back after the break. Let's get it. Welcome back to the show. Let's wake up with Ray and Jay every Monday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the channel. We did drop a video on Monday after the wake up show on Monday. It was a Monte Carlo styled mock draft edition, 1,000 simulations that I ran based on all the mocks that have happened from the combine up until the date of Monday. What was that? March 2nd, March 3rd, and we ran the simulation 1,000 times. So I did a mock draft based on the highest probability of the players that are currently being projected to go to your favorite teams. Very unique mock draft exercise, Jay. I don't think anybody's doing it. Somebody will do it now, but nobody was doing it prior to old GQ doing it. So check out the 26 Super Mock Draft. I will drop those every single Monday, scraping all of the mocks. Dane Brugler, Jordan Reed, Lance Zierlein. Hell, if you're a mom and pop shop doing your own mock drafts and it's on the internet, it's pulling that as well. Running the simulation 1,000 times to give you, hey, this is who the probabilities are saying your team is going to draft, and we mock and do that exercise that way. So check that out on the channel, as well as all of the prospect profiles that are up. More draft content coming soon. I think I'm going to have my rankings up by this weekend as well, positional ranks. Go ahead and get those going and talking through some of those, Jay. But there was big NFL news, Jay Rich. Big NFL news breaking, dropping. My goodness. Kyler Murray. Jay, sources. The Arizona Cardinals have informed quarterback Kyler Murray they're going to release him. Goodbye, Kyler. It's over. Kyler Murray's time in Arizona looks like it is going to come to an end. They owe him, $37 million guaranteed this year, another $20 million, and another $20 million would have triggered on March 15th. So Kyler Murray is going to have a new home in 2026. I don't think this is a surprise, but to see it, you're like, damn, he's gone. That's it. Kyler Murray in Arizona. It's over. And it's interesting. I was listening to Maxx Crosby on an interview with his old former defensive coordinator, Rob Ryan, talk about Kyler Murray and defending him. And even Crosby, I guess the premise of what they were talking about is Rob Ryan wanted them to build a wall around Kyler. They didn't want him to rush. They're like, hey, just set the edge and stand there. Don't rush. And Crosby was saying, hey, coach, I never told you this, but I was like, F all that. I got to go get after this dude, because if we just sit back, Kyler's going to pick us apart. And to hear one of the best defenders in the NFL talk about how difficult it was to defend Kyler, like those are his peers talking about how good he was. So to see a player of this caliber become available, what do you think where do you think he lands? How does this play out for Kyler Murray? What does this mean for the Arizona Cardinals? Remember, they're picking at 3. There's not a lot of quarterback depth in this draft. What does all this stuff signify for the Cardinals, for Kyler, Jacoby Brissett, their draft plans? Go.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, the Cardinals, it seems like they're just going to roll with whoever they can get on a cheap contract. You know, we've heard the Malik Willis links because obviously Mike LaFleur, who is Matt LaFleur's brother, is now coaching and the head coach in Arizona. So it seems like they're going to go the cheaper route. Maybe they get Willis, maybe they go with Brissett, but it's probably not going to be a high-end guy. Now, Kyler being a free agent is interesting because what does he want to do? Does he want to rehab his career in Minnesota? Because we know they're looking for a quarterback, and it's been speculated that Minnesota is the #1 destination currently for Kyler Murray. And if it's not Minnesota, is it Miami? Is it the Jets? You know, he's obviously being paid nearly $40 million this season, whether he plays or not, and he can kind of work to find the best situation for him to potentially rehab his career. And kind of what does that look like for him? I think there's a lot of places he could go, but there's a lot of talent there. And I think for him, with the amount of money he's being paid, it's all about fit, right? With Daniel Jones, after his time in Minnesota, it was about where's the best fit for him. He found Indianapolis. It worked out, and we'll kind of get to his story in a minute. I think Kyler's on the same path. He's been cut. He's free of Arizona. He can choose wherever he wants. He's being paid either way. And I think it's about finding the best fit for Kyler Murray.
Let me ask y'all. There's this visceral disdain for Kyler Murray. Malik Willis better than Kyler Murray?
Probably not.
Rookie of the year 2019, 2-time Pro Bowler, 87 starts, 20,000 passing yards, 3,100 rushing yards, 121 passing TDs, and 32 rushing touchdowns. If Malik Willis is better than that, he should start. Kyler shouldn't. I see people in the chat. Kyler ain't doing good since he tore. Where's Kyler going to go? What happens with Kyler Murray?
I think he should go to Minnesota. Like, Minnesota's the best fit for him. I don't think there's any competition with him and McCarthy. If Kyler goes to Minnesota, he's the quarterback, right?
You think so?
Yeah,
you think
100%.
So?
I don't, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm not going anywhere without a guarantee that I'm the starter. Like, if I'm not the opening week starter, I'm not going there. Because the whole thing for him is that he's been paid all this money, number 1 overall pick. His job now is to spend the year rehabbing his image or developing his skill set somewhere. I think he could do both of those things in Minnesota.
See, y'all, the chat, y'all kill me. The chat kills me, Jay. We saw Malik Willis throw the football 40 times. And now, he's better in post ACL Kyler. He can see his receivers down the field. Y'all weren't talking about Malik Willis coming in. You haven't said shit about him for 2 years. You see him playing one game, and he's better. That is the revisionist history of fandom, Jay. And I'm not saying he can't, but to definitively say that today, you are out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
But don't you feel like that's much more of a media narrative than for instance, a smaller niche podcast? Like, I don't hear a lot of smaller people saying, "Oh, Malik Willis is starting quarterback in the NFL."
I don't give a shit. I'm talking about what we're talking about today. I don't need to go to media. I'm talking about what the chat is talking about right now.
I mean, few people are saying it, but like in reality, Kyler Murray is a much more talented quarterback than Malik Willis. And I still feel like this Malik Willis being good narrative, it feels like something that's been paid for because it doesn't make any sense. He's barely played. He's played well for the Packers, and he's shown that he can manage a game. But to put him in the same conversation as Sam Darnold last season, to put him in the same conversation as Baker Mayfield when he got his first contract with the Bucs, they are just two completely different circumstances. And I just don't believe that you could say Malik Willis had the same level of success or the same level of talent going in as either of those players. So that's why it's kind of a little bit interesting to see this all play out. And I don't know where he's going to go. You know, there's been all this conversation, but like, I'm not going to be surprised. But that's it. That's the fit. It's the Jets. It's Miami. It's places where no quarterback actually wants to go.
I would like him in Miami. I don't
know
if they're going to have that, because they're going to dump Tua, right? So that'd be, they've got to eat what, 90
million or whatever. Yeah. It's a lot. It's 90 million stretched, so it's like 50 and 40 or something, or 50 and 30, something like that. It's a crazy amount of money. And I'm sorry, Malik Willis, but you're not Bo Nix, and your head coach is not Sean Payton. Like, you're not going to do what Denver did in Miami. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, Dill, I hear you. Everybody keeps saying Kyler hasn't done. He hasn't. The fact that you're saying he had. Let me correct you right now. Who hasn't done anything over 5 years is Malik Willis. That's who's done nothing. So don't say Kyler's done nothing in 5 years. That's an asinine statement to make. Who's done nothing is Malik Willis, who's been a backup quarterback since he failed during his time in Tennessee. But we give him a pass because, well, the coaching staff was off and they didn't cater to his skill set. What has Kyler had in Arizona? Arizona's been a dump of a franchise for how long? Since they lost the Super Bowl?
As long as I can remember, basically.
Since Kurt Warner and them led them to the Super Bowl, they haven't been good. Maybe there were some years where they were okay, but by and large, you're talking about a bottom-tier franchise. Kyler's resume is objectively much far superior than that of Malik Willis. It doesn't mean Malik can't play well one day, but to say that he's better or has been better than Kyler, you're out of your mind. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, Jay. And I'm not even a Kyler supporter. That's just it's a lot of hopium there because you haven't seen it from Malik Willis.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole point we're getting at, is that people can talk about Kyler's limitations all they want, and we know what they are because he's played so many snaps in the NFL. He has, 20,000 passing yards. But that doesn't mean that he can't go to a place and learn how to be a better quarterback in the NFL. Did we just not see
Sam Darnold win the damn Super Bowl? Daniel Jones is about to get $160 million, whatever it is. And we don't think Kyler, with some good coach, he can't put it together?
Well, I think also it's like, if Malik Willis is going to make $30 million, what does that say about the state of the quarterback position right now? Man. And why can't Kyler Murray be a better option for a franchise, and probably will be at that?
Come on, man. What do you think Arizona does at quarterback? we continue to talk about Kyler and where he goes. What does Arizona do? Because they're picking 3rd overall right now. Is this a spot where they try to move back? Let somebody come get Reese, come get Bailey, come get Bain, come get Delane or whomever it is they want at 3, kick back and take a swing at the quarterback 2 in this class. Or continue to build around knowing LaFleur is going to have a leash and say, hey, we're going to solidify the defense. We're going to work on the O-line. We're going to get skill position players because we'll just take a chance that one of the 15 quarterbacks next year will come out and will be better than what we have right now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a play more for 2027, right? They're going to have the draft capital more likely than not. The team's not going to be very good. Why even bother competing with San Francisco, the Rams, and Seattle? I think their job should be to build the team up. They could bring in Willis and kind of see what he's got, but for me, like, I don't think that makes sense for the franchise. Like, you need to build up the roster. The roster's not very good. You need the defense to be improved. Depending on what they do with the pick, if they can trade it, I don't know if this draft is great for a trade up because there's not a quarterback really that you want.
I think at the top, it's okay. I think
maybe someone trades up for Love. No one's probably trading up for Downs or Bailey or Reese if available. But we'll see, right? I'm not going to say it can't happen. I do like the defense a lot. But I think that their goal should be to roll with Jacoby Brissett. He's already under contract. Your team can just slowly grow and you can build it up rather than trying to make it work with Malik Willis or convincing yourself he's your franchise quarterback going into next season.
And I agree with Dill right here. He said, what does it say about Kyler that Jacoby came in and made the offense look better than ever? That's a fair freaking point. I'm not here backing Kyler as this great, he's the best quarterback in the world. But somebody that has shown talent to that degree, right? Like can an OC, and I'm throwing OCs out there. He's not going to the Rams with Sean McVay. He's not going to the Indianapolis Colts with Shane Steichen. But could a Kevin O'Connell, could he operate that offense with Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson and Addison? Could he operate that more efficiently and better than JJ McCarthy? If a Seattle offense came about and we saw what happened with Sam Darnold, could he operate that more efficiently than what he had to deal with in Arizona from a play call? And I'm not making excuses. You hear these people who played the game say, y'all, coaching is so important. It's so critical to our success at the NFL level. And I agree with Dill. Like, yeah, Jacoby Brissett came in. They also didn't win shit with Jacoby Brissett. Right?
Kyler was 2-3, right?
They didn't win. They won one game with Jacoby Brissett as the starting quarterback. One football game with Brissett. And the thing at that point, it was just Chuck City. It didn't. They could be down 100-0 in the first quarter. Starters was playing to the clock struck 0, and they had no James Conner. They had no Trey Benson. When we put context around that situation, it seems very dismissive to put all the blame on Kyler and prop up Jacoby Brissett. When you look at the offense, they had no running game, nowhere. All they had was McBride and trying to find somebody to throw the ball to. It is projection on Malik Willis, and if you're saying, you know what, man, Ray, you're probably right, but I just want to see what Malik looks like. I'm buying in to what I saw with LaFleur in Green Bay, but I'm just not going as far to say as I would prefer him over Kyler Murray at these stages. And yes, Jay, there are reports that James Conner's on his way out too. I know.
That's very interesting because we've talked about how he's kind of like the one consistent piece outside of McBride in the passing game in this offense that gives them that balance that when Conner's in, the offense can be more stable. It helps Kyler Murray. It helps, whoever's playing quarterback. And when he wasn't available, they just chucked the ball 50 times a game and just prayed they were able to win. So I get it. He's older. Probably cost them a lot of money against the cap as well. But I get it.
I know. I get.
Where does he end up? There's a lot of spots that could probably use him, and I doubt he would be very expensive. Why wouldn't a team take a flyer on James Conner, and he can just be a 40% back for you?
Kansas City.
I mean, why not? He's so old at this point.
Bring him in a cheap 1-year deal.
Yeah, you can only pay him $3 million, and you'll be good.
They draft Ty Simpson. How do you feel about this? I'm telling you, I wouldn't do it. I don't think that quarterback has what it takes to compete in that division. And they don't have the roster.
Yeah, probably not.
Him going toe-to-toe with Stafford, Darnold, and Shanahan every year, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's just, I think you're hoping he's somehow like Brock Purdy, and he's just not Brock Purdy.
He's not Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy threw a lot of passes at Iowa State. Lot of passes at Iowa State, Jay.
And much more mobile, too.
Simpson takes a lot of sacks, and I've kind of learned a little something. Takes a lot of sacks, limited starts. That was not, I think that was probably the biggest piece of news since Monday, but we still had other big breaking news. There was a trade, Jay Rich. Trent McDuffie, All-Pro, Pro Bowl cornerback from the Kansas City Chiefs, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is taking his talents to Los Angeles. Well, they are shipping his talents to Los Angeles. The Rams needed a cornerback. That secondary was Swiss cheese, Jay Rich. Swiss cheese. And they get one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. Trent McDuffie is. Kansas City does it again. We've got a Pro Bowl corner, and we are not going to pay you. Goodbye, L'Jarius Sneed. Goodbye, Trent McDuffie. They gained an extra first-round pick. They acquired the Rams' first-round pick, so that's pick 29. And then they also got a 5th, a 6th, and a 27th third in this trade. Jay Rich, wow. Kansas City,
right?
What do you think?
I think this is interesting on two fronts, right? So for anyone who missed the additional piece of news, it was that the Giants were the other team trying to trade for Trent McDuffie, and it was the Rams that put up the biggest offer. That's why you see the additional picks of the 5th, the 6th, and the 27th third. The Giants obviously did not want to give up their first, and probably didn't want to give up a 27th first either to make this trade happen, and that's why he ended up in Los Angeles. How fortunate for Trent McDuffie to go from the Chiefs and their Super Bowl reign, winning Super Bowls, playing Super Bowls,
the Rams,
to now the Rams, where he's probably going to be doing the exact same thing in the NFC over the AFC. But yeah, Kansas City Ray with 3 top 40 picks in this draft.
3 top 40 picks.
Is that enough ammo to trade up and go get a premium pass rusher in this draft?
I mean, they're sitting nice. I look at where they're sitting right now. They've got 9, 29, 40.
And 40. There's a lot of things they can do.
There's a lot of things they can do.
Even in Zierlein's trade, they could trade down from 9 and would be more than fine because there's going to be options for them.
Here's what I think, and this is just, it won't happen. Chiefs fans will listen to this and be like, this will never happen. They'll never do this. I'm punting the year, Jay. I'm punting the year.
No.
I'm not full. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not rushing Patrick Mahomes back on the field. I'm not rushing him back. I'm not doing and you probably don't remember this. And some of y'all out here, it may be, this was 15 years ago or so. It was Robert Griffin Jr., RG3's second season, or maybe it was his first season where he tore his knee up, and they ran a full campaign. Those of y'all that remember this, Adidas ran this full campaign. He'll be back to start the season. And it was just, everybody's like, hey, it's going to take a little bit of time. And you know what happened? They put him out there. They put him out there early, and he was never the same. He was never the same after getting his knee wrecked in the playoff game. I believe, who were they playing against that he got that thing destroyed? I can't think of the team, but it was the playoff game. They brought him back out there, and he was never the same, rushing him to get back on the field early. I know it's a different type of injury, but when Tua suffered his hip injury his final year at Alabama, and then he got to Miami, and the thought process was he's going to sit all year. Let that hip recover. He's going to sit all year, and they played him, and it was rough for him. If I'm Kansas City, I'm just slow playing Mahomes. The reality is right now they're retooling their team, right? This is going to be a new iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's no longer the thing that they won 3 Super Bowls with. They've got to fix that. You've got capital. This division is strong, at least this year with Denver and LAC. They're going to be competitive, but I still don't know if they've got what it takes right now as they're currently constructed to go get it, Jay. So use your capital, build up, get some players to really be ready to go get it in 2027. And again, I know they're not going to do that, but I would slow play Mahomes 100%. You're not playing, buddy, until that knee is 1,000% right, because we can't risk it. Give your young tackles some time to grow. I would do that. I would take my time with Patrick Mahomes.
So who do you think they should have play quarterback in his absence then? I think that's the
no
question,
clue.
right?
I have no clue.
The problem with the AFC is that if you punt, 2 or 3 games, that's it for you in the playoffs. Like, it's just going to be so much harder to climb back in because of how talented the AFC is right now. But yeah, like I was thinking about as you're talking, I'm like, well, could like Joe Flacco be an option? Could Kirk Cousins be an option? Because they're not going to go after Kyler because Kyler's not going to take that.
No, it wouldn't be one of those QBs.
Once
it wouldn't be
Mahomes
one of those.
comes back, he's going to obviously play, but maybe a Flacco could come in there and operate the offense for a month or a month and a half, and they'll be okay. And then obviously once Mahomes comes back, he knows he's going to the bench. But yeah, I think Mahomes will be back and be interesting to kind of see that approach. But if they did take that approach, who would they pick with those picks?
You got to go O-line. One of those picks have to be an offensive lineman. I mean, Jay, I feel like receiver is a position of need as well. We'll see what they do throughout free agency.
It seems like Carnell Tate could be there for them at 9.
Cornerback has got to be a position of need still. Yep. You let McDuffie go. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see throughout free agency what moves they make. Running back is still, they need a running back.
Yep.
Does that make it more or less likely that Jeremiah Love could be the selection at 9? Maybe it gives them more flexibility that, hey, we could take a swing at Love and then still probably get, whether it be Fano, Lomu, somebody else at 29. Carnell
I think
Tate,
that's the interesting
receiver.
part is now they have 29, where that's probably going to be their O-line pick. That's where they usually pick, right? Back of the draft, they get, a later offensive lineman or a defensive lineman and kind of go that route. They're very used to finding those guys in those areas of the draft, and maybe even 40 could be that little bit of ammo to move up a couple picks to Washington's pick, or maybe even to higher than that, because you may need a bit more than that. But it's very interesting. Them having all these picks could be more for trade-up purposes or for talent acquisition purposes than anything else, not because they actually want to make all these picks.
So Tim agrees with me. He said, somebody finally said it. My thoughts exactly. The reason the fantasy community was buying into Love the KC hype too much. KC sucked with Mahomes all year. They're better off doing a soft rebuild. And again, I'm not telling them to tank the season, right? They're not going to go 1-16. They're too good of a team to do that. But I'm not rushing Mahomes. You know what? We keep saying that shit, and then I was like, "There's no way they're picking top 10," and then here they are picking 9th.
They were a pretty bad team once Mahomes went out last year. Like they were, granted, they were playing Gardner Minshew, whatever. Like we'll see what they can do with their
Chris Olajuwon, whatever his name is. Yeah, not good.
I feel bad. I never learned how to say his name, but yeah, some dude nobody ever heard of.
You won't have to say it much longer. All right. Well, let's talk about the colossal Colts cluster, you know what, Jay Rich. The Indianapolis Colts, this feels, it's just
stacking L's, man.
It is, I always say this, I'm from Las Vegas, man. You know when I know it's time for me to leave the casino? When it's time to go? When I'm at that ATM, accepting that $25 service charge, right? To yank some more money out. That's what you know when it's time to stop sports betting, Jay Rich? When I'm never making withdrawals from my account and I'm always making deposits. That's when it's time for old GQ to hang up that betting advice. When I'm always making deposits, never withdrawals. The Colts, man, the Indianapolis Colts, in the situation they have found themselves in, I can't think of a worse train wreck happening in front of our eyes than what's happening right now in Indianapolis, and I don't know if they can get out of it. I mean, it's so bad. You almost just got to keep doubling down and making
digging.
You just keep swimming, finding Nemo. That's all you do. Daniel Jones, transition tag. Alec Pierce, gonna be on his way out. Michael Pittman, probably cut. You got an expensive running back. DeForest Buckner may be on his way out. No, by the way, you traded for a corner who, Jay, I don't know what was wrong with Sauce, but it was bad enough to where he didn't play most of the damn games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have 2 first-round picks. You've got a lame duck kind of type head coach in Shane Steichen. Anthony Richardson is on his way out. And now you've hinged your future on Jones, who's going to make damn near $40 million this year and then be in line to go make a whole bunch more money next year, and it might not even be in Indianapolis.
Yeah, this is a very, very big mistake, in my opinion, by the Colts. They had said, or there's reports all along, that Alec Pierce was a must-retain for them. And then it comes out, well, actually, they're going to transition tag Daniel Jones, which is a little bit cheaper than the franchise tag by like $3 or $4 million. And it gives them the ability to match any contract given Daniel Jones. Is any team going to give Daniel Jones a contract more than $37 million?
Not a chance.
Absolutely not. Not coming off that injury. So they have Daniel Jones for this season. He's probably, as you mentioned previously, going to really milk that rehab. Right? And just
he ain't talking about Mahomes.
Take his time.
Jones, you ain't got to worry about Jones getting out there early.
He ain't coming back. But because of this, now Alec Pierce can walk. And it was reported as well that they never received a contract offer from the Colts prior to the tag deadline because they were so busy trying to figure out this contract with Daniel freaking Jones, Mr. Torn Achilles himself, over retaining your very probable $100 million wide receiver. Now, again, do I agree with giving Alec Pierce $30 million a year? Not particularly. But the fact that they went out and chose Daniel Jones over Alec Pierce, in my opinion, is just insane. Why allocate all of that cap money to a quarterback who is not going to be playing for you at all this season in all likelihood? Because if they don't have Daniel Jones, and they are probably not going to have A-Rich, and they roll Riley Leonard out there.
Oh, they're going to roll Riley Leonard
they'll be picking in the top 10 next year.
Well,
and if they're already 2-10, 3-9 to start the year, why the hell would you bring Daniel Jones back for what?
Because you paid him $30 million, $37 million.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm going to get something out of
it.
you.
It makes no sense at all. So now they're going to let Alec Pierce walk. They'll probably get,
I paid for a full hour. I don't care if I was done in 5 minutes. I paid for a full hour. I'm getting something out of Daniel Jones, Jay. I'm getting something out of him. 3-9, you're going to play.
It is unfathomable how on the trade deadline, I was kind of the one, and I told you, I thought the Jets won the trade like easily because they went all in on Daniel Jones.
You said that from the very beginning.
I did not expect Jones to get injured, but it has been far worse than expected. And when you make a move like that, 2 first-round picks for a corner, who I think is still cheap this year and then gets expensive next year, and then you don't have answers at quarterback, that is one of the, like, this is something that sinks a franchise for 3 to 4 years. It really does. And I don't know how they get out of it. Like, there is no answers.
The bed was made when they made the trade, Jay. That they were pot committed to Daniel Jones the moment they made that deal. And if it's between a very good receiver, but not a Justin Jefferson level type receiver, or the quarterback, nobody was bitching and complaining when the Colts were top 10 offense the first 9 weeks of the season, when they were cruising to what looked like the number one seed in the AFC South, winning the division, being a playoff team. And then after that Germany week, it fell off the rails for the Colts all the way around. Jonathan Taylor started to stink it up. Daniel Jones was injured. They had to bring Phillip. I think about, as a Colts fan, you just came off of a season where Phillip Rivers was playing quarterback for you. I think about that, man. You just can't that. And if either of us would have suggested that was even a realistic type outcome coming into the season, everybody would unsubscribe for this. These dudes have lost their mind. They're talking about Phil. That would be the Tony Romo coming back to throw a few more for Dallas this year.
Yeah.
Just bring Romo back,
Why not?
Unreal levels of ineptitude in Indianapolis. And
they're going to get rid of A-Rich. They have no quarterback, and they're
it's called karma.
Sure,
they did A-Rich dirty to start. That's called karma. Yeah.
And now they're going to let him walk too, probably for like a 5th or 6th round pick, and they drafted him 4th overall.
Maybe it's not karma. Maybe he's just not that good. But I'm going to say it was karma.
But Ray, honestly, you might as well give him a chance. Like, we kind of know that the writing's been on the wall, and that situation's been done for a while. But like, you have no answer at quarterback. You might as well just let A-Rich play over Riley Leonard, because what's Riley Leonard going to be? More likely than not.
Well, Jay, there's more movement, and we didn't even touch on this, and I'm not going to go into it a lot, but Breece Hall did get tagged, so it looks like Breece Hall will be back in New York. We'll see how that plays out. There's still quarterback issues there. We talked about Kyler Murray potentially to New York, but what about Maxx Crosby, Jay Rich? Maxx is getting more and more vocal. He wants out. Get me up out of here. Get me up out of here. Maxx Crosby. How old is Maxx right now? How is Crosby?
Let me check.
30? I think he's close to Close to 30. Here it is. The Raiders are slow playing this.
28.
Asking price is a Micah Parsons-level haul. 2 first plus an impact player. The Bears are heavily linked. Potential DJ Moore and pick swaps. Okay.
Ooh. Yuck.
They need a receiver. They do need a receiver.
Need a good one.
Wait. Isn't that your boy? Hold on.
You know what, actually?
No, it ain't no you. Hold on.
Second.
They need a good one. Isn't DJ Moore your boy?
Who had the better season, DJ Moore or Rome Odunze? Because that was a big topic of conversation.
Rome didn't play half the season.
Oh, so Rome didn't
Don't
play.
Deflect. Don't deflect.
How am I deflecting? I'm just asking who had the better season because I didn't even think about this.
2 first and an impact player.
DJ Moore outproduced him. Shocking.
2 first and an impact player. You think it's going to happen?
No. So Crosby is 28.5 right now. So he'll be almost 29, maybe 29 by the time the season starts. I'd say he's still at the point of his career where 2 firsts isn't crazy, but an impact player as well is kind of nuts. Now, to be fair, you don't have to pay him because he's already under contract. He has a big cap hit, but it's not Micah Parsons' $40 million cap hit that the Packers had to take on, along with trading Kenny Clark. I would say 2 firsts is pretty fair, though. Like, he's arguably the best defensive end in football, and he can make an impact both in the running game and obviously rushing the passer.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome in the run game. He's awesome in the run game.
And he plays every snap. I think he's still, in the NFL, plays more snaps than any defensive player, especially on the defensive line. Crosby's number 1 every single year. So I think 2 firsts is more than fair. It's probably 2 back-end firsts. But, like, if Dallas traded their back-end first for him, would you be mad about that?
I'd rather Dallas trade 20 and one of their 327 firsts for Crosby opposed to taking Keldrick Falk at 12. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Right? And his cap number, I think, is like, I think it's still outside the top 5, but inside the top. It's only like $30 or $33 million. It's not anything crazy for an edge rusher of his caliber. So I think that's where, you look to Dallas and Chicago's looking at him as well. They have Sweat on a pretty big cap number, but they do have quite a bit of cap space because obviously Caleb's on that rookie deal. It's just interesting because all the reports are the price tag is too high. But I think at some point someone's going to pay it because Crosby's just not going to be a Raider next season. Kevin's comment says, stupid Raiders fans. Jacobs is a Raider for life. Devontae is a Raider for life. Crosby is a Raider for life, and all of them probably going to be gone, Jay. All of them probably going to be gone. Probably going to be gone. Your boy is also gone, Jay Rich. It's over. 1 season, 1 and done. Yep.
Diggs gone. Not a surprise. Remember when you were trying to fix them? And you're like, oh, you think that really cut Diggs? And I'm like, yeah, he's gone.
Cap number's too high.
Cap number's too high.
You can't pay Stefon Diggs $29 million.
Can't do it.
He's worth maybe half that right now to the team.
You cannot do it.
It's just
you cannot do
worth
it
that much.
What does this mean for your boy Drake Maye?
I'm honestly not sure because there's a lot of ways they can address this issue. And I'm not sure what the plan is because, they're in on Pierce, of course, because Drake Maye's the best deep ball thrower in the NFL, right?
Love Alec Pierce in New England. Man.
It'd be a good fit.
I would love it. I think it is a great fit. Sure. I think it's a great fit. Let me ask you this. Alec Pierce gets this $100 million deal. And New England's got money to spend, so the money is irrelevant. But he is Drake Maye's wide receiver 1 going into the season. What type of fantasy ceiling do you think he would have? Top what outcome for Alec Pierce, who had 1,000 yards on 40 catches? Unreal. He is not Alec Pierce. I told Matt Harmon he messed up the charting because it's Antoine. He is officially Antoine Darrell Pierce. How would you feel about him in New England? Top 6 all-time money. Drake Maye's number 1 guy. Top what outcome for him?
I think his ceiling's probably like the top 10.
Jay, I think it's around. I said top 12-ish. I think he's in that realm, right? I think he could,
and I think he can do it with the touchdowns.
Well, he's gonna score and he gets down the field. Now let me add a wrinkle to this, okay? Because there are some rumblings, and it doesn't make sense for Philadelphia to do it. how good would you feel about Alec Pierce if the New England Patriots went out and traded for A.J. Brown and brought him into the fold to play alongside? So they bring in Pierce, they give Pierce his money, and then they turn around and they still go get another. They go get another receiver for him, and they bring in A.J. Brown. How does that make you feel about Alec Pierce at that point?
That's tough. I probably would still think he has a top 10 ceiling.
Even
really
with A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown on the roster, I don't think there's a chance in hell. They bring
in what they want to do with A.J., right? And how involved is he going to be?
Everywhere he's been the one. Everywhere A.J. Brown has been, he gets hyper-targeted as the one. You don't think that would remain the same in New England? I think it would.
I think it could. But this is a team that also has a wide receiver by approach committee. And so if you're going to be in that offense, I think you're going to have
because
to
they have no other options. Not out of choice.
You can say that, but we don't if they go pay Antoine $30 million and AJ's on a $30 million deal, why is AJ the definitive one every single week? I'm not saying he can't do that. Right?
Alec Pierce had 1,000 yards on 20 catches, Jay. They don't got to throw him the ball 100 times.
But that's why the ceiling is very high, because he can do that with more volume and he could have an even better season while AJ still operates a lot of the underneath stuff, right? My whole point with Pierce is that I think he could be very effective. I think he could be better if they have a slot receiver that can force safeties to come down and allow him to get over the top and break defenses. Because if you only have Pierce on the roster, why would the safety ever let Pierce get deep? Where is forcing the safety to say to himself, I have to come against Hunter Henry. I have to go guard Pop Douglas over the middle when Alec Pierce is going to hit me up over the top for a 50-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown, whatever it is, against the best deep ball thrower in the NFL last season. So that's where I struggle. I think A.J. Brown would be a great benefit and obviously would help Drake Maye more than anybody else. But both those guys on the team, I'd be curious how they would deploy them, honestly.
Rumors of a riff with Nick Sirianni haven't gone away. And there are reports that if Roseman doesn't get his, in quotes, unserious asking price, he might hold until after June 1st to save $40 million in dead money.
Yeah. That's obviously a huge savings. You're not going to.
So then we just get to June and then they just cut him and then he's free to. Now he's kind of rolling into OTAs somewhere else late.
Well, I think that's part of the NFL, right? The posturing when it comes to salaries is, like, for instance, Kyler Murray has been cut, but he's not cut until the 15th, right? Tua has been cut, but he's not cut until post-June 1st. So it's like we know these things are going to happen, but because of the way the league has their rules and their scheduling and all this various financial implications, it would make a lot of sense if that's the case. But we could get a trade before the draft, where it's like, okay, A.J. Brown's been traded, but he's not going to officially be traded until June
That's
1st,
how it could do
right?
it. Okay, that's how they could do it.
I believe it could work both times. But if you're Howie Roseman, you say, I'm not trading him, right? And then if something happens and you get your offer, then you make the move. But yeah, I think he's probably not going to get traded. It's just he's very unhappy, clearly, where he's at. And there's clearly a rift here in Philadelphia.
Next year's Super Bowl is going to be at SoFi.
Yes.
I just saw that. Going to be at SoFi Stadium. I'm just checking. Dallas, they're restructuring, so they're getting under the cap. They're restructured Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyler Smith. They restructured all of them.
Oh, nice.
And they're going to spend. I think Dallas they're typically not big spenders in free agency. I think this is the last hurrah for Dak in Dallas. I really do. I think this is their last. And honestly, I think the window closed a few years ago. I don't think defensively that they have enough to really compete inside of an extremely competitive NFC. But you got to try. Dak's 32, 33 years old. Lamb, all that money. I think this is this next little phase for Dallas. If they go out and try to get a Maxx Crosby, if they're trying to free up cap space, they've already locked up Javonte Williams. I think these next couple of years are going to be the last run of Dak in Dallas. And then he'll be like, hey, get me somewhere where I can try to compete to win later in the playoffs. But they're getting under the cap now. I don't know how much it's going to help. I think Dallas have a lot of...
Oh, it'll help a lot.
Well, they have a lot of issues. So they've got to spend and they've got to hit. They've got a lot of issues. They've got to spend and they've got a hit. Let's see what else is out there. Aaron Rodgers still a little undecided on his future. Your boy Rashid Shaheed said to not be close on an extension with the Seattle Seahawks. And I mean, honestly, if you're Seattle.
And Kenneth Walker, free agent as well,
Kenneth Walker is a free agent. Yeah, I was going to pull up all the players who are slated to be free agents. So we already talked about Aaron Jones and Jonathan Allen probably out of the way. There was a list that Schefter had, all the players that were potentially going to be or were going to set to become free agents. It's a really good list, Jay. So the free agency period is going to be fun to watch, to track. We'll be covering that here on this channel, on DDFFB, all that other stuff.
Players that didn't get tagged was Walker, Pierce, Owe from the Chargers, Etienne, Linderbaum, and Trey Hendrickson. The players that got the tag were Pickens, Pitts, Breece Hall, and Daniel Jones with the transition tag were those two lists.
Yeah, there it is. I just found it as I was scrolling. I was making myself dizzy. I was like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, Kenneth Walker, Alec Pierce, Odafe Owe, Etienne, Linderbaum, and Hendrickson. And then we talked about George Pickens got tagged, Breece Hall, Daniel Jones, and Kyle Pitts. Did we miss Pitts getting tagged?
It was very early in the cycle. They announced pretty early they were going to tag Pitts, and then they also cut Darnell Mooney. Apparently.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney gone, man.
So they're paying Pitts $15 million and cutting Mooney's $18 million.
I told you that Pitts was going to get that bag, man. Pitts.
Well, he didn't get the bag. He just got the franchise tag. You told me he'd get paid $20 million, and I said that's kind of crazy. And then he just ended up getting tagged instead.
Did I say that?
Maybe he'll get a deal. You remember? I remember when I was like, "Are you really going to pay Kyle Pitts more than Trey McBride? Because Trey McBride doesn't even make $20 million." And you were like, "Yeah, I think Pitts going to break." You did.
I didn't say that. Get the.
You fully said you thought Pitts would get $20 million and be higher paid.
Get
than
the hell
Trey
out
McBride.
of here, man. Get out of here.
And I was
man.
like, I don't know about that, but
get out of here.
For $15 million, it's a fine price. That puts him, I believe, in 5th behind T.J. Hawkinson. George Kittle.
Who?
And
Hawk.
TJ Hawkinson makes a lot of money.
Damn, Hawk.
He makes a lot of money. His contract's pretty big with Minnesota. But yeah, Pitts is still the 4th highest paid tight end with that franchise tag, so it's not like it's cheap for Pitts either.
All right, Jay. It's 9:20. See what the chat's talking about. Not the tag. Got the tag, not the bag. Kubiak on Shaheed isn't signing there now. What do y'all think of George Holani next year?
No offense to George Holani, but I'm sure they will bring in a running back.
No, thank you. Ben here in CD is not happy with the current situation in Dallas. Any thoughts, Ray? When is CD happy? When is CD happy? He hadn't been happy since he had 1,800 yards in 2023. It's Dallas. It's drama. I've got nothing else for you, Daniel. We do appreciate you, though. We do appreciate you and everybody in the chat rocking with us today. Thank you, Honcho, saying that is a good show. That is a good show. And yes, Drew Dahlman. We did not talk about that. The Bears got a big hole up front. Center got out of there. Center retired.
Had enough.
Man, that's crazy. Jay, get us out of here.
27 years old.
Get us out of here, Jay.
But yeah, I think get ready for tapping in. Make sure you like and subscribe. We will see you Monday morning.
Monday.
For lots of NFL
man.
news.
Monday.
Right? Lots have been going on. Cuts, restructures, signings, tags. Very exciting time in the NFL right now. And of course, we'll be here to break it all down for you. Check out Ray's 1000 Simulation 2026 Super Mock Draft. I'm sure we'll be dropping another one next week, but check out the first iteration so you get an idea of the flow. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. We are out. Peace.